She told me, "Your career isn't as important as mine. You should quit your job and stay home with the kids." I didn't argue. But when the DNA test results came back, she realized my job wasn't the only thing I was about to quit.
It was a Tuesday night. I was cooking dinner for the family. The evening felt celebratory. My wife, Isabella, had just been promoted to senior partner at her architectural firm, a massive achievement. I was genuinely proud. I wanted to celebrate her success, or so I thought. We have 4-year-old twins, Noah and Olivia. They are my entire world. For 4 years, Isabella and I shared everything: work, sleepless nights, daycare runs, the chaos of young parenthood. I believed it was a partnership, but I was wrong. I'm not some office clerk. I built my own business from the ground up, a logistics and supply chain consultancy. 10 years of blood, sweat, and sacrifice. It's successful, profitable, mine. It gives us a comfortable life. But to Isabella, it was always just my little project. Her job, downtown office, magazine features, awards, that was the real career.
And then, wine glass in hand, eyes fixed on me across the polished dinner table, she dropped it. Not as a suggestion, as a decree. "Now that I've been promoted, we need to make changes. I've thought about it, and the best path forward is for you to quit your job." I froze, my fork suspended midair. "Quit? You mean sell my business?" She waved it off. "Don't be dramatic, Mark. Just wind it down. Hand off your clients. The kids need a full-time parent at home. And let's be honest, my career isn't just a job, it's a legacy. Yours isn't as important." There it was, the sentence that stripped away everything. Years of subtle dismissals, quiet condescension, compressed into one perfectly arrogant statement. At that moment, I realized, to her, we weren't a family, we were a corporation, and she had just named herself CEO. I didn't argue, I didn't raise my voice. Instead, a strange calm settled over me. The kind of calm you feel when the fog suddenly lifts and you see the cliff edge right in front of you. She had already made her decision. All I had to do was play my role.
"Okay," I said. Her eyes widened. Slowly, a triumphant smile spread across her face. She thought she'd won, that I was the obedient husband, ready to throw away my life for her legacy. But later that night, as I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, I wasn't thinking about selling my business. I was thinking about Noah's eyes, emerald green, striking, and completely impossible, since neither Isabella nor I nor our families carried that trait. Years ago, she had laughed it off. "Must be some recessive gene from a great-great-aunt. Don't be silly." Back then, I let it go. But now, her demand to erase my entire identity for her career? It wasn't just selfish, it was a power move. And people who demand that kind of control, they're usually hiding something. The man who went to bed that night wasn't the same man who woke up the next morning. The husband was gone. The analyst, the investigator, was born. And I had one mission: uncover the truth. So instead of calling my business manager, I called a lawyer, and I ordered the most expensive court-admissible paternity test I could find. The paternity test kit arrived in a discreet package. Collecting the samples was nerve-wracking, but straightforward. A cheek swab from me, and then 2 playful swabs from Noah and Olivia under the guise of a scientist game. They thought it was hilarious. I felt like a traitor, but I knew this small deception was necessary. This was about uncovering a much larger betrayal. I sent the samples off and entered a new kind of waiting game. Meanwhile, my lawyer, a shark named David, gave me clear instructions. Step 1, separate my finances. As the sole owner of my LLC, I started moving every business income and personal asset into new accounts under my name alone. I documented every extravagant purchase Isabella made on the joint accounts. There were plenty.
Every celebration of her promotion, every sign of my impending unemployment became evidence. Step 2, hire a private investigator. It felt dramatic, but David insisted. If she's lying about this, she's lying about other things. I gave him a single directive: investigate everything going back 5 years, around the time the twins were conceived. Isabella, meanwhile, became unbearable. She threw a lavish promotion party at our home. During her toast, in front of friends and colleagues, she praised me. I have to thank my wonderful husband Mark, who has so generously agreed to step back from his career to support mine and raise our beautiful children. It takes a strong man to recognize when his wife's star is meant to shine brightest. The room applauded. Friends glanced at me with pity. I smiled, playing the part of the emasculated husband. Inside, I felt nothing but ice. Then, the PI report started coming in. 5 years ago, Isabella had an affair. Months of passion with a rival architect, Julian Vance, a flashy, arrogant man she had claimed to despise. Emails, hotel receipts, every detail meticulously documented. The affair ended abruptly when she discovered she was pregnant. She returned to me, the safe, stable choice, and never looked back. The next morning, the email from the lab arrived. Subject line, "Your paternity test results are ready." My heart raced as I opened the PDF. Scanning past the jargon, I saw the conclusion. Noah, probability of paternity, 0%. Olivia, probability of paternity, 0%. They weren't mine. Not one of them. The 2 children who had been my entire world weren't biologically mine. A wave of nausea hit me, followed by a deep, clarifying rage. This wasn't a mistake. It was a calculated, long-term fraud. She hadn't just cheated, she had sentenced me to a life of unknowingly raising another man's children, all while planning to strip me of my identity. But my love for Noah and Olivia didn't waver. It solidified. They were innocent, pawns in their mother's cruel game. My mission was clear: protect them and destroy the woman who betrayed us all. I forwarded the lab results and the PI's report to David. His reply was brief: game over.
Isabella believed I would quietly give up my career. She had no idea I was preparing a counterstrike. Every move she made, meeting wealth managers, scheduling private schools, putting down deposits for a new house, was quietly documented. I played my part, pretending to plan the sale of my business. Pamphlets, spreadsheets, projections, I presented it all with a bored expression, letting her think she was in control. Meanwhile, the PI confirmed Julian Vance's downfall. The once flashy rival architect was struggling financially, embroiled in a divorce, and in ruin. This was the final piece I needed. The divorce papers were filed strategically. Isabella was hosting a dinner for high-profile clients when a process server, disguised as a courier delivering rare wine, handed her the envelope. "For Isabella, last name," he said loudly, "you've been served." The room froze. Pride drained from her face, replaced by disbelief. She tried to laugh it off, but the damage was done. Her carefully constructed image had shattered in front of everyone. She turned on me, eyes full of venom. "How dare you humiliate me? You're leaving me just because I asked you to stay home with the kids." I calmly replied, "I'm not quitting my job, Isabella. I'm quitting you. I'm quitting this entire lie." Her screams echoed, but I remained silent. She thought her children were her trump card. She had no idea that the DNA results and the PI's findings were my royal flush.
The settlement meeting was set yesterday. My lawyer, David, had prepared every detail. Isabella and her aggressive attorney, Peterson, walked in as if they owned the place. She was immaculate in a severe, expensive power suit, ready for battle, refusing even to glance at me. Peterson began listing their demands: the house, both cars, $1 million lump sum from the sale of my business, lifelong alimony, and astronomical child support for Noah and Olivia, private school, horse lessons, European summer camps, full-time nanny. Everything calculated to crush me financially. I sat calmly, listening. When he finished, David leaned forward, serene as ever. "Thank you, Mr. Peterson. That's ambitious, but your model relies on a single, fundamental misunderstanding." Peterson sneered. "And what's that?" "Your claims assume my client is the father of Noah and Olivia," David said. Isabella laughed sharply, incredulous. "You're really going to claim you're not their father?" I said nothing. I let her look of smug confidence linger a moment longer. Then David slid 2 sealed, notarized envelopes across the table. Court-admissible results from 2 independent DNA tests. Peterson opened the first one for Noah. His expression faltered. He opened the second for Olivia. Silence. Isabella snatched the envelopes, scanning the results. Her confident pink flush drained to a sickly pale. "These are fake," she whispered. "Legally verified and filed with the court. Your children are not biologically his. He will pay no child support. Furthermore, we are filing a civil suit for fraud to recoup costs you deceived him into covering for the past 4 years."
She froze. Her world unraveled. But David wasn't done. He pulled out another file, evidence identifying the biological father, Julian Vance, complete with surveillance photos, emails, and hotel receipts. "Mr. Vance is currently in financial difficulty," David continued. "We anticipate the court compelling him to support the children, while your client, Isabella, has profited handsomely from a lie." Her face twisted from terror to pure hatred. Her plan, to make me a stay-at-home husband while she climbed higher, had spectacularly backfired. Now she faced a future tied to the very man she'd betrayed me with, financially and emotionally unstable. Peterson asked for a recess. 20 minutes later, they returned defeated. They accepted every term. Isabella left with only personal belongings and her car. No claim to the house, the business, or alimony. The civil suit for fraud is ongoing, and we are confident we will win. My love for Noah and Olivia remains unchanged. They are innocent. My final legal move ensures I will raise them, protect them, and shield them from the chaos their mother created. Isabella demanded I quit my career to raise her children. Instead, she lost everything. Her lies weren't as powerful as my love and my resolve. And that, finally, was the lesson she could never forget.